Hey, I want to challenge everybody. I'm an entrepreneur. I work with other small business owners. I have my own digital marketing business, had an accounting business. If you are in retail right now, if you're working at Best Buy, you're working at Target, you're working at, or even if you're in the restaurant world, maybe you work at Chipotle or Burger King or McDonald's. If you work at a fast food restaurant, if you work in retail, I want to share some hope for you. I'm 37 years old, right? So I'm in this weird, I was born in 1982, graduated high school in 2000. I think they call me a Zennial because I'm almost a Gen Xer, but not truly a millennial. And not that any of that matters. I'm kind of this bridge between the millennials and the baby boomers. It's kind of funny whenever I'm in a group, I end up connecting just as well with baby boomers as I do with anybody else. It's the Gen Xers that, I don't know, I'm just kidding. But here's the hope that I want to give you. There's such value in learning how, in the job that you're in right now, okay? It can be frustrating. You're working ugly hours. Just the nature of retail and restaurants means that you're working nights and weekends. Usually that's prime time for them. Whenever professionals are off work, that's when retail and restaurants are busy, and that's when you need to be needed. And I want you to know that just that alone can cause life to become dull over time. It's very hard. The other thing that's difficult is there is a low barrier to entrance, right? There's a lot of people that struggle to move their life upward and forward that end up staying in retail and staying in restaurant work. That's not to say that there's not fulfilling great work to be done there, but sometimes you can find yourself surrounded by people that aren't trying to move upward and forward, and that can be depressing. You need to know that that can be true. So when you can be aware that that is true, and you can be aware that you might be on teams and in organizations where downward stuck thinking is there, being aware of that helps you to make the decision to bring your full cup to work every day, right? I want to share with you that I think if you frame up your time there, so here's one thing. You can have a great career in retail. Some of you are made for retail. Some of you are made for restaurant work. Some of you love it. You love the atmosphere. You love what you do. You want to become a cook. You want to be whatever. Some of you just love serving. I know lots of people that have served tables their entire life, make phenomenal money, and they love what they do. They're on their feet. They engage with people. They like doing food. They like it. And that's great. Most people, though, don't want to do it their whole life. And I think that's okay. My first encouragement is I want you to get an exit strategy. You don't need to know exactly how it is, but I want to share some things that might help you head out of the part of that work that's tough, right? But know that you're getting amazing experience that's going to count. It used to be, a lot of times when you're working in a restaurant and in retail, you can feel like all your friends went to college and you're here not going to school. Some of you are going to school, but a lot of you might not have gone to college. You might not know what you want to do. And this is kind of the best job that's here. There's a big retail organization, lots of restaurants around where you live. And it can feel like everybody else is going out, making a future for themselves. And here you are grinding away, bussing tables, slopping floors, cleaning fryer oil. I mean, oh my gosh, changing fryer oil is just not the most fun. Slanging roast beef sandwiches out the side of a building, whatever that is, it can feel really cheap. But you're getting practice in two things. Serving people, you're getting reps at understanding how to be a servant. And no matter where you go, that is invaluable. If you position yourself to say, you know what, in 3 years, my cynical self won't want to do this, but in 3 years, if I would have served 100 people per day, and I frame that up in my own mind to believe that what I'm doing is I'm understanding how to serve people, not serve tables, but actually be a servant. That by doing that to so many people, I'm going to get great practice. And if you challenge yourself authentically to try and get really great at satisfying the needs of every customer in a quick, efficient, accurate manner, it's going to be awesome for you. The second thing that it can do is it can show you why you want to get out. Like I said, some people are hardwired to stay there, but I think that in most cases, most people don't want to have a life where they're working nights and weekends. Most people want to be able to recharge and refuel and have a little bit better situation there. Or they want a higher financial gain. Like, let's just be frank. It's hard to make a lot of money when you're in retail and restaurant. You either go work for corporate, you go be the regional manager, but not everybody wants to be, the manager of something. A lot of people will want to, they don't want to be a leader. They don't want to be a manager. That's not what they want to do. And oftentimes in those organizations, that's the only place you can make more money. So I want you to frame it up that it's all a win. You're getting practice in serving people. When I serve tables, boy, I learned entrepreneurship in a lot of ways from serving tables, from understanding that I had to satisfy people's needs at just the right level so that they would tip me the most amount. That taught me tons. I learned that I didn't want to be in that grind. I got to empathize with a lot of people going through tons of different situations. There's no filter on who walks in. So you get to empathize with so many folks. Now, at the place I was at, they sat down at a table and I got to engage a little bit, but I learned so much from them. Then I went to retail and I worked at Best Buy, and that's where I cut my teeth for sales. If you're at a Target, if you're at a Best Buy, if you're at a clothing store, that sales can give you reps, a ton of reps. You can help 1,000 people in a week. And if you frame it up that what you're trying to do is you're trying to perfect the way you engage at the appropriate level, solve the problem in the appropriate way, and give such excellent customer service that they note that you are not over the top, but you're excellent at what you do, you're going to win. So seek excellence in everything you do while you're there. Succeed. Be excellent. I went into into Walmart here, and I love our Walmart. It's kind of funny. I love it. But there was a guy there, he's working the deli, and I walk up and I really wanted something out of the deli. I asked one gal, and she goes, hold on, I'll go get what's his name. And I'm not going to say his name, but he comes out and he goes, what do you want? I'm like, oh, jeepers, what do I want? So I just nicely said, I'd like some of that cheese there. It's a particular kind of cheese that I like. He doesn't say anything. He just kind of grunts. And then for him to cut a pound of cheese probably took him 12 minutes. Meanwhile, 3 or 4 people are getting up behind me. And he was having a bad day. Caught him on the bad day. But I've been around him a bunch of times now. And he's crabby. He is stuck. He is probably depressed. I don't know what's going on in his world. But all I could think of is imagine if he'd pull himself out and think, all I want to do is be excellent at my job. Or in the bottom line, and be like, am I going to allow myself to suck at this job? Heck no. There's no way I'm going to let myself be bad at this job. I'm going to be excellent at what I do, doggone it. I want to kick butt. It sounds dorky. I'm going to cut cheese better than anybody else that cuts cheese. Like, set out to absolutely do the best you can with everything you can, and then retail and restaurant work will serve as maybe not a resume builder. You might go out there and no one really cares that you did that, unless you're able to cast vision that you learn how to serve people. You learn how to meet needs. And there's so many people that have such unique little needs, and all I'm doing is serving pancakes, or all I'm doing is giving McDonald's, and yet accuracy, little nuances, and doing it excellently on our team. And then you can talk about how the teamwork is important to keep an upward and forward attitude. And boy, if you do that, you seek excellent, you get a lot of reps, it will be a blessing for you. And I want you to look at that time in retail as a blessing. But here's the last thing I'll talk about. And this is probably not that interesting, but get an exit strategy. When you get an exit strategy, one of the things that keeps retail workers stuck is this. It's hard to find high-paying jobs that are attractive enough to pull you out, right? And if you don't go to college, and maybe you'll go to school. Some of you should go to school. Some of you should go to trade school, though. One of the things that keeps people stuck is they don't know the industry where there's demand. They just don't know. Your school, public school sucks at telling people where all the industry demand is at. I would really recommend looking at businesses in the trades. I would highly recommend, if you don't like what you're doing now, and you're in retail and you're in restaurants, go look at businesses, small businesses in the trades. Go to a trade school. Become an electrician. Become a plumber, a pipe fitter. Go to the union. Learn how to become an operator of heavy machinery. Go get your CDL license. There are some jobs that you can position yourself with. There's super high demand because nobody's going into them, and they're fun, interesting work. They're a lot better than changing fryer oil. I think restaurant work is great. I have some friends that are in it and they love it. For me, it was a training ground, but get an exit strategy. Demand excellence of yourself, and look at it as a positive thing. Learn how to cast vision for yourself every day. And then at the end of it, what did you learn out of it? And I think you should head towards the trades, small business. And I think that's where a ton of opportunity is. If I were you, I would get out and I would go there. Good luck with everything, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. Just trying to add value and help people. Thanks.